Hey everyone, I'm Kyle Farley with AMPM Guide Service and Hooked in Travel, and I'm here with Joclyn Leung at Angling Outfitters in Woodstock, Ontario. And today we're going over the Elite TI and Elite Ti2 for programming for ice fishing.
All right, guys, let's turn our summer boat unit into the best ice machine in the world. So a TI or TI2 is the same basic unit. We're going to add an ice transducer, which is known as the 9-pin ice transducer. The code on it is actually called the 9P ice. So that's the ice transducer that goes on the TI and TI2s. So let's go ice fishing. First thing we're going to do, hit the gear button, go to the sonar button, installation, and we're going to tell it that we have the ice transducer. So the ice transducer in Lowrance talk is the PTI WBL. That means it's turned on the ice crystals and it's set up this unit to this transducer. So we save it. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to go to the fishfinder screen. We're going to go to the ice mode because we're ice fishing now. Now let's fine tune the unit for ice fishing. First thing we're going to do, go to the advanced. We're going to turn this top filter off because we don't want to see what's on top. We're going to increase the scroll speed 6 times. So this is the scroll across speed, and we want the maximum ping speed because we want 6 pings per second. That's the highest ping you can get. It's higher than a flasher. So we're going to go to more options. Color number 13. For those of us that are not colorblind, color 13 will show you the hardness of the bottom and the amount of silt on the bottom. Unfortunately, we're on the demonstration mode and it's on a fish finder mode for demonstrations. To stop it, we just put our finger on the screen. Okay? So let's understand some features on the unit. We're going to hit the power button and change the information on the screen. So we hit the power button, we go to edit, we go to add. We definitely need to know our battery condition, which is under other. So we go to other and we put the voltmeter. Then we go up and we just put the time. Now we don't need water temperature because the ice transducer does not have a temperature probe inside it. We move the time down here, make it bigger. Voltmeter, put it down here, make it bigger. Water temperature, touch it, delete it because I don't need it. And because my eyesight's very poor, I make the depth larger. And then we save it. So this is customizing our screen to our use. We clear the cursor. Now we're going to play with the sensitivity and the zooms. I'm going to try to stop the screen. Right now we're in 35 feet of water. We zoom in once. We've got 23 to 43. Zoom in again. We have 28 to 43. Zoom in again. 30 feet to 42. Zoom in again. 32 to 42. So we've got the bottom 10 feet. We clear cursor. We go to our sensitivity and we would increase the sensitivity until we see the silt on the bottom, which on this demo mode is not showing it well. And that's how you fine tune your unit so you can see your jig touch the edge of the blue, which would be the top of the silt. This is very key. If you're fishing in areas, we have lakes such as Lake Nipissing. In 32 feet of water on Lake Nipissing, there's generally about 10 to 12 inches of silt. So your unit will show you a whole bunch of fuzz layer, but when you see air bladders inside, they're not fish, they're actually mud puppies. The unit is that powerful, so you can see the mud puppies in the silt, and then you'll see the white fish and the walleyes over the silt. So the key is understanding the detail of your screen. So we're back on our screen. We just go back to every 4 minutes, it kicks us into the demo mode. So we're just going to have to go back to color number 13 again. Now I'm going to zoom out just so it doesn't look as weird. I'm going to turn down the sensitivity in this situation because we've got too much power on the unit right now. So I'm just explaining the setup of it. This would be a pretty good setting when you're ice fishing because I want to see the silt layer. All right. A great feature that these units has is digital broadband. All TIs and TI2s, you can run 2 cone angles, any 2 cone angles at the same time. So we are going to create a page. Create a page, sonar 1, sonar 2, save it. This is a tight cone, which is 200 kilohertz, which is 19-degree cone, wide cone, 83 kilohertz. When I'm on Lake Simcoe, I always run 200 kilohertz and 83 kilohertz. So I touch the right side of the screen. So I've got an orange square on the right side of the screen. I have to fine tune the right side of the screen because we already programmed the left side of the screen. Surface clarity is off. Scroll speed is up 6 times. So it scrolls across a lot faster with a faster refresh rate. Go to more options, go to color number 13. Now we've got tight cone, wide cone. Okay, so this is sensitivity. We can turn up because a really awesome feature of the Ti series of Lowrance is the broadband feature. If this was a real ice mode, I wouldn't see a lot of fish on this screen, but I'd see a lot more fish on this screen. When I see a blue arch on this screen on a 140-degree cone, so let's just wait till we see something on the demo screen. We see a blue arch right here. I see a bunch of fish right here. We touch the fish, we waypoint the fish. We save it as a red fish symbol, and then we save it. So I've just marked a fish on this screen. I go onto the chart screen, and it's physically going to show you that the fish is over here. So that fish is 95 feet from behind the hole. So you know where you can drill a hole and find a lake trout on the wide cone. That's called your broadband feature. So to understand what I just stated there, tight cone, which is your 19-degree cone on 200 kilohertz. I want a tighter cone, so I turn on my high chirp. High chirp puts me at 6 degrees. 83 kilohertz puts you at 140 degrees. I can run 200 kilohertz on this side if I wanted to. 200 kilohertz would be a 19-degree cone. So 6 and 19, 19 and 140, 6 and 140. You pick what you like to use because you can run 2 cone angles on any of the Ti or Ti2s, which is an incredibly awesome feature. So the key to understanding is on this screen you'll see the jig. On this screen you'll have a hard time seeing the jig because of the width of the cone. So to make you understand what we're doing, this is the screen you have to set up so you can see your jig and see the silt. This is a screen you're looking at fish from far away coming close to you, maybe because you're attracting them, or not coming into your cone angle because you're spooking them. I'm not sure what the thing is, but try to understand the ability that you can use 2 screens at the same time. Now, a lot of you guys want to use a flasher screen, and I don't like that. That's just my opinion. So I hit the page button, go to the fishfinder screen, go to my more options screen, go to my split, and I turn on a silly flasher. Here's my silly flasher. On a Lowrance talk, when you turn on the silly flasher, you still get the sonar screen, which is a vertical. This is a dial. So we touch this screen. We go back to color number 13, so I can see the hardness of the bottom. I increase the sensitivity, which is the same on this screen, and it changes this screen. When I increase the sensitivity, I'm going to see the bottom of the lake, and I'm going to see certain information, but I'm having a hard time reading this system if I don't look at the sonar screen. So this is fishfinder, this is vertical flasher. Now, let's explain why I don't prefer the flasher. If I turn off the flasher, turn down the sensitivity in this situation, when a white fish goes through the screen, it typically goes through on a drunken blue zigzag. When a lake trout goes through the screen, it goes through as a blue streak. So many times you can pick out the type of the fish, but on a flasher you're going to see the blipping of blue, blipping of blue, blipping of blue, and you're not exactly sure what you're trying to see, but this will memorize what you have. And the key to this system is the playback mode on all Lowrance touchscreens. When I saw a fish come through, I can go back and look at what happened and see if it was a whitey or lake trout. And that's a beautiful feature of all Lowrance touchscreens, because when you can play back 10 minutes of what happened, you can really get an understanding of what type of fish it was and if it came through on the wide cone, narrow cone. So the broadband playback, which is the scrolling back for 10 minutes of what you've done, is an incredibly awesome feature when you ice fish. No flasher in the world has that. No flash in the world, you can mark a fish and it shows you where it sits on the cone angle. So learn your systems. They're very, very powerful. Now, a really, really awesome feature if you want to upset all your friends with their $2,000 flashers is the Bluetooth mode. I hit the page button, I hit the gear button, I hit the wireless button, I take my fancy cell phone and I connect it to this unit, and on my cell phone I would have downloaded on the App Store for free the Link. And the reason why I would download the link is once I put the VIPN number of my cell phone onto the unit, I would now have my unit on my cell phone. So when I go to my friend's hut and I turned on the fish alarm on this unit, when my fish alarm goes off my cell phone, I'll have to go leave the hut to go to my hut to catch the fish that's under my hut. And your friend will be very upset because he can't do any of that with his fancy flasher. So that's an incredibly awesome feature, is syncing your cell phone or your iPad or your Galaxy phone or your Android pad to the system and watching it on someone else's ice hut. So that's a cool feature that it's built into all touch units. So now that we've done the video on the TIs and Ti2s, you've got your broadband, you've got your scroll back, you've got your 8 different zooms, so you can zoom right into the bottom. And another feature I didn't mention in the video, but I will mention it right now, when you're running 2 cone angles, you can have one zoomed in and one not zoomed in. So if you think there's a different species of fish higher up, you'll see the fish up high on one screen, and then on the other screen you're zoomed right into the bottom. So you've got your sensitivity to look at the silt level, you've got your split zoom, you've got your split frequency, tight cone, wider cone, super wide cone. And when you see a fish coming through on the wide cone, you can touch that fish and it'll show you on the map where it is, so you can send your friend to drill a hole right where that waypoint is and he's near that fish. And this is key to understand how the system works. Last but not least, your unit has a 10-minute playback. So if you actually hooked a fish, you can actually go back and look at how you made it react on your bait. Very important if you're fishing difficult waters such as Lake Simcoe, using a MIGS, because on Lake Simcoe you might have to get the fish to react 4 or 5 times before it hits, and you can watch all that playback on your unit.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. This is the unit for the Elite Ti2 for setting the programming for ice fishing. And if you like our videos, please like and subscribe, and have a good day guys.